It happens in a fraction of a second. You're standing in a meeting, sitting at a family dinner, or having a seemingly normal conversation with someone you thought you trusted. Then, out of nowhere, it drops. A subtle jab, a sarcastic remark, a condescending tone, a thinly veiled insult disguised as a harmless joke. Instantly, your biology betrays you. Your chest tightens. Your heart rate accelerates. The blood rushes to your face. In that exact moment, your mind screams at you to do one of two things. Either fight back and destroy them with a sharper comeback, or shrink, laugh awkwardly, and swallow the poison just to keep the peace. If you fight back, you enter their storm. You mirror their chaos. You step onto a battlefield they chose on their terms, playing by their rules. But if you swallow it and stay silent out of fear, you betray yourself. You teach them that your dignity is cheap and that your boundaries are fully negotiable. Most people spend their entire lives oscillating between these two miserable extremes, explosive reaction or quiet submission. And because of this, they live at the absolute mercy of how other people decide to treat them on any given day. But thousands of years ago, the ancient Stoics engineered a third option. Men like Marcus Aurelius, who ruled the known world, and Epictetus, who survived the brutal reality of slavery, understood a terrifyingly powerful truth. No human being on earth has the power to disrespect you without your subconscious consent. They recognize that an insult is not a weapon. It is an invitation. It is a test. The moment you realize that you do not have to accept the invitation, you become completely mentally untouchable. Today on Psycho-Stoa Mind, we are going to tear down the fragile, reactive habits that have been costing you your peace and your power. We are going to explore the deep psychological mechanics of disrespect. And I'm going to give you exactly one sentence. Non-lethal Stoic sentence that will instantly disarm anyone who tries to belittle you. It will not just stop the disrespect in its tracks. It will fundamentally rewire how they view you forever. Before we unlock this architecture, you have a choice to make. You can close this video and go back to being a passenger to your own emotional triggers, or you can stay, rebuild your mind, and claim your sovereignty. Hit the subscribe button right now to join a community of builders who operate with quiet, devastating power. Leave a comment below to anchor your intention. Share this video with someone who is exhausted from fighting the wrong battles. And do not skip a single second. If you miss the foundation, the sentence will not work. Seal your commitment to this transformation today. Drop this exact vow in the comments right now. I am the sole commander of my reactions. Number 1, the illusion of the personal attack. To master disrespect, you must first completely misunderstand what it actually is. When someone insults you, cuts you off, or speaks to you with contempt, your ego instantly steps forward and declares, "This is about me." You assume they have calculated your flaws, measured your worth, and delivered a verdict on your identity. You take the insult, wrap it around your soul, and carry it like a heavy burning stone. But Stoicism demands that you look through the illusion. When a person behaves with arrogance, cruelty, or passive aggression, they are not offering a critique of your character. They are giving you a desperate, messy confession of their own internal state. Happy, grounded, fulfilled people do not walk into rooms and attempt to make other people feel small. They do not drop sarcastic insults to steal the energy of the room. The person trying to provoke you is bleeding from their own invisible wounds. They are dealing with a profound sense of inadequacy, a terrifying lack of control in their own life, or a deep-seated jealousy of your light. They throw an insult the way a drowning person thrashes in the water. They are just trying to pull someone else down so they can feel like they are floating. Epictetus taught that we must not be disturbed by the actions of the ignorant because they are simply acting according to their nature. When you stop taking disrespect personally, the insult loses its venom. You stop viewing them as an all-powerful judge, and you start viewing them as a patient in a hospital, sick with their own insecurity. When you realize it is not about you, the urgent, burning need to defend yourself simply evaporates. Anchor this truth in your mind right now. Comment below. Their disrespect is a confession of their own pain. Number 2, the fatal trap of over-explaining. When the disrespect lands, the most common and disastrous response is the urge to explain. Someone questions your competence, and you immediately launch into a frantic defense of your resume. Someone mischaracterizes your intentions, and you write a massive paragraph trying to prove that you are a good person. You think you are standing up for yourself, but psychologically you are doing the exact opposite. You are stepping onto the witness stand and handing them the judge's gavel. When you frantically defend yourself against an insult, you're subconsciously signaling to the other person that their opinion carries massive authority over your life. You're telling them, your disrespect has destabilized me, and I need you to understand me so that I can feel safe again. The manipulator feeds on this. They love watching you scramble. They love watching you burn your premium energy trying to convince them of something they have already decided not to believe. A Stoic warrior never begs to be understood. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that an emerald does not lose its value simply because it is not praised. You do not owe a toxic person a thesis defense for your right to exist, your right to make choices, or your right to occupy space. To become untouchable, you must violently sever the cord of explanation. You must become entirely comfortable letting people be completely wrong about you. Number 3, the one sentence that freezes them. Now we arrive at the maneuver. You have detached your ego. You have refused to explain yourself. The insult hangs in the air. The room is waiting for your reaction. The person who delivered the disrespect is waiting for you to snap, to cry, or to cower. Instead, you're going to look them directly in the eyes. You're not going to glare. You're not going to scowl. You're going to look at them with the calm, clinical curiosity of a scientist observing a very strange, very confused insect. You let 1 second pass, then 2, and then with a perfectly steady, entirely neutral voice you ask this one sentence. Are you hoping for a reaction from me? Let those words sink in. This is not a defensive strike. This is a devastating psychological mirror. When you ask this question, you do something profound. You instantly step outside the emotional frame of the conversation, and you force them to look at the mechanics of their own behavior. If they were trying to trigger you, you have just publicly exposed their tactic. You have named the game. Manipulators and toxic individuals operate in the shadows. They rely on subtext and passive aggression. When you drag their intention into the bright light with a calm, emotionless question, their entire strategy collapses. They will freeze. They will stumble. They might nervously laugh and say, "What? No, it was just a joke." You're too sensitive, but you have already won. You have demonstrated that you see right through them. And more importantly, you have demonstrated that their words failed to penetrate your armor. You did not give them the anger they wanted, and you did not give them the submission they expected. You gave them absolute chilling awareness. Declare your new standard right now. Type this in the comments. I expose their chaos with my calm. Number 4, the devastating power of the silent void. The sentence is only the first half of the weapon. The second half is what follows it. After you ask, "Are you hoping for a reaction from me?" you must do the hardest thing for a human being to do in a tense situation. You must close your mouth and hold absolute silence. Do not elaborate. Do not say, "because it's really uncalled for." Do not soften the blow. Just ask the question and let the heavy, suffocating silence fill the room. Silence is a pressure cooker, and human beings despise it. When a toxic person is met with dead silence, their anxiety spikes. They realize they have lost control of the script. In their desperation to alleviate the overwhelming awkwardness they just created, they will start talking. They will backtrack. They will over-explain their joke. They will suddenly try to change the subject. While they are scrambling to fill the void, you simply watch them. Let them drown in the awkwardness of their own making. The Stoics knew that silence is not empty. It is full of answers. When you refuse to rescue someone from the discomfort of their own disrespectful behavior, you establish a boundary made of iron. 5. The complete withdrawal of access. Once the moment has passed, the amateur believes the war is over. But the Stoic understands that true self-respect is enforced through long-term strategy. The toxic person has shown you who they are. They have shown you their willingness to cross your lines. You do not need to hold a grudge. A grudge is just a heavy bag of poison you carry on your own back. You do not need to plot revenge because revenge keeps you tied to them. What you must do is practice the ultimate Stoic protocol, strategic withdrawal of access. Your attention, your warmth, your humor, and your presence are high-value premium assets. They must be earned. When someone demonstrates that they do not respect you, you do not need to give a dramatic speech about how you are cutting them off. You simply reduce their clearance level in your life. You respond to their messages slower. You keep your answers brief and factual. You stop volunteering your personal stories. You stop offering your premium energy. You remain perfectly polite, completely professional, and absolutely cold. You become a gray rock. When they realize that their disrespect costs them the warmth of your presence, they will understand the true price of crossing you. You don't have to demand respect. You simply remove your energy from environments where it is not naturally given. 6. Reclaiming the architecture of your worth. Why do insults hurt so much in the first place? Why do we lie awake, replaying a passing comment from someone we don't even like? It is because on some deep, unhealed level, we fear that the insult might be true. If you build a house on sand, every gust of wind feels like a threat to the entire structure. If your self-worth is built entirely on validation, praise, and the opinions of the external world, you will always live in a state of quiet anxiety. Every disrespectful person you encounter will have the power to shake your identity. To become deeply untouchable, you must do the private work of building an inner citadel. You must take inventory of your character. You must honor your promises to yourself. You must act with discipline, integrity, and honesty, especially when no one is watching. When you know exactly who you are, when you understand the effort you have invested into your own growth, and when you are grounded in your own values, the insults of others lose their weight. They begin to sound distant, like noise that no longer reaches you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. When your life aligns with your principles, you stop needing approval and you stop fearing criticism. You recognize that the person disrespecting you is not even seeing you clearly. They are reacting to a projection, a version of you that exists only in their mind, and that means they cannot truly touch you. Lock this truth into your mind. Comment below, my self-worth is not up for negotiation. Number 7, embrace the peace of being the villain in their story. Here is the final truth that most people struggle to accept. When you stop reacting, when you stop explaining, when you hold your silence and withdraw your access, not everyone will respect it. Some people will resent it. They will call you cold. They will say you have changed. They will tell others that you think you are better than everyone else. They may even rewrite the story to make themselves the victim and you the problem. Let them. You must release the need to be understood by everyone. You cannot control how others interpret your boundaries, and trying to manage every opinion will only drain you. Your life is not a performance for approval. You are not here to win validation. You are here to build clarity, strength, and inner stability. When you accept that some people will misunderstand you, you step into a different level of freedom. Disrespect is loud, but real power is quiet. It does not argue, it does not chase, and it does not need to prove itself. The next time someone tests you, do not rush. Do not react. Pause. Observe. Recognize that their behavior reflects their internal state, not your value. Then ask the question that changes everything. Are you hoping for a reaction from me? And after that, stand in silence. Stand in your control. Stand in your clarity. Stand in your power. If you have stayed with me until the very end of this video, you are not just watching, you are applying. You are building awareness, and that alone separates you from most people. If this message resonated with you, take a second to support the channel. Like the video so it reaches more people who need this perspective. Share it with someone who is dealing with unnecessary negativity. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Psycho Stoa Mind, where we focus on discipline, clarity, and mental strength. Before you leave, drop your final declaration in the comments. I am untouchable, unbothered, and entirely free. Stay grounded, stay disciplined, protect your peace, and I will see you in the next one.